Most of you guys were here when we had like 2 rows of 10s and we were doing a circle over there. And the number one, kind of point that I made was that if we raise what we're doing in terms of how much we personally have to focus, the dog has less opportunity to be affected by your emotions, and they're just following along. Where you were commenting, I can't believe how close you were able to do it, and it's just because I gotta do it. I gotta go. I have to literally cut, pull. So there's a lot going on. The dog was just following with you. It didn't even have an opportunity to go, well, I'm cutting in between dogs, I want to say hello. So it really goes to the more you do with your dog, the less they're gonna have to react because you're raising your standards. I think you just have to be aware of what you're approaching, like what is that dog's energy, right? You at least have to acknowledge what dogs have high energy, what dogs have low energy, and then what dogs are the surprise, the reactive variable factor where you don't know what's gonna happen and out of nowhere it does. Just be mindful there is a little something running through. It's so small it looks like a little gerbil, but it's over there. Lunch for a few of these things. Any other questions though? So one thing I want to point out is a tip that I just gave to him. A lot of you I find may not be using the e-collar in terms of finding the rhythm of the downbeat of how you're walking. But what I want to do is I'm going to have you just walk. I want you to walk to like that tree and back, and just kind of naturally how you walk. I want everybody to stare at him uncomfortably. Get to know his body language, know how his shoulders move, know how his arms move. Notice how there's a natural flow, a natural rhythm to how his front foot takes a step, then his other foot takes a step. I feel like Bruno. The left foot and then the right foot and then the left foot again. But there's a rhythm to how he walks. What you need to do is incorporate that natural flow of how your arms are gonna move and how your feet are gonna take a step on the ground. And that's when you should be pressing the button. That's when you should be pulling back with the leash just a little bit. And that's how you can communicate to your dog effortlessly. If you incorporate into the natural rhythms of your body on the walk, then you're not going to need to add additional work into it. If I'm walking and I'm naturally kind of giving a pull backwards, and when I take a step, I'm pressing the button, it's easy. But if I have to walk normally and then go, oh, well, I gotta also figure out what's the timing on the button, right? How many of you have problems with when you should press the button and how many times you should press it? You do? How many times did you guys press the button?
High enough, soon enough, If I got higher sooner, I wouldn't have the incidents, I don't think.
Okay. So find a middle ground, right? If you know that your dog works really, really good from a 6 to a 10, and if your dog reacts, you have to be at a 10, maybe be at like an 8. So that way you're able to kind of keep the dog's attention a little bit better.
Okay.
How many times did you press the button during one of the loops, would you say?
50?
Yeah, I was going to say every minute.
Every minute. I mean, these are the answers I'm looking for. So you're not going to say I pressed it a lot. And I'm going to go, oh my God, you're cruel. Every minute.
It has to be button if I'm going to walk past somebody down.
It used to be button.
No, it still is.
It still is. When do you press it every minute? Because 60 seconds is a long time.
No, I don't. I'm not truly every minute. I'm 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If I'm going to be walking past you guys, or if I don't know Blue and I'm walking past, I'm 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Otherwise, she'll react.
I would use the leash more. We talked last week or a few weeks ago about how some people are overusing the e-collar and then they're underusing the leash or their voice, right? Things like this. I think you overuse the e-collar, which then might also add stress to the dog.
Right.
instead of just also going, yo, Camus, you're gonna follow me, and incorporate the leash a little bit. And I think that might also help your dog as well. How many times did you press it during that loop? Just one loop?
I'd say every minute or two. Like I do button, leash, button, leash, voice, button, leash, voice.
Good. So it's a
kind of
combination.
Yeah.
How many of you guys talk to your dogs throughout the walk at least? Like you say something to them, like, come on, Carter, come on, let's go. That's good. You should be talking to your dog during the walk. You should be using the leash naturally. You should be using the e-collar. All these things are tools to help you. If I had some tools like this to help me stay on my diet, I would be at the result that I want, right?
Shock collar at the refrigerator.
I tell you right now, if there was a shot, there would have to be somebody there to go, you're near the fridge,
Push the button if
right?
you wear a collar.
It's like I downloaded DoorDash. I've been trying to delete that off my phone for a few days. Gives you access to Cheesecake Factory. Not good. So you pressed it a decent amount. You are using all three, voice, e-collar, and the leash. How many times would you say you pressed it, or what was kind of like your rhythm?
About 10 times through the whole thing.
You only pressed the e-collar 10 times during the entire walk?
One loop, yeah. Only 10 times about one loop.
So I have to ask you, you have a reactive dog. Why do you press it so less? What are you doing instead of pressing the e-collar? Because would you say that she confidently went through with everyone super close, almost like one of the top people that did it really, really good? Yeah. When you did it, people started commenting. So if you're only pressing it 10 times, she pressed it 100, whatever it is. What's the secret? Where's the confidence? Is it the confidence? Is it I know what I'm going to do? Or what is it?
I'm just watching her, and I'll say here first, and then if she doesn't respond, then I hear and use the button.
But you're using your voice and the leash to get her to give you the hear. Hear for you is her looking at you? Okay. Because she did great. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. But that ultimately should kind of give you guys some confidence where, again, you don't necessarily have to rely on, oh my God, because, I mean, she just did a great job. Yeah, I mean, it was really impressive. So if you're not pressing it that much, then it is, I know where I'm going. There's a lot of stuff personally that's going on that's awesome. So that's really, really good. How many times would you say you pressed it?
I wouldn't have numbers off and on, just
Off and on throughout.
Yeah, whenever he needs it. Pretty
Okay.
much. I don't button it just to stand on my side.
Okay.
But if he starts getting out of a heel position, I'll tell him heel. If he doesn't, I'll button his ass back.
So where you're going to want to also press the button when he's doing something good and when he's next to you, it's the concept of I'm still with you, but when I press that button, it's like, hey, look at this, look at the camera guy, look at that, hey, look at that, check that out. We're next to each other, but I want her to focus, right? So it's that same thing of if you only use it for a correction, then the dog will eventually have a negative association. She doesn't have a negative association when I touch her. I literally was in Long Beach talking, I don't know if they were homeless or what the deal was, but they ended up asking about the training and the e-collar and stuff like that. And I went up and I said, it's just like this. And I tapped the guy and I said, you could have said, don't touch me, and I could have got hit. I don't know you from anywhere, but it's if we use effective communication, then the dog will always understand it as communication versus up, he's using it if I get out of line. So just know that it's okay to press it if your dog's doing something good, because it just keeps their focus on you, right? How many times would you say you pressed it?
I pressed it quite a bit, but I noticed also that he was pulling quite a bit as well. But when I walked down after you gave me that hint, just moving the arm forward and back, he kept staying with me a lot more. So the association with the arm movement was working out. Good. He got a little distracted on the way back, so I had to push it a couple times. But I tried to push it when I pull back.
You can, yeah. It'll double up.
Right.
That's perfect.
That hint actually worked out when I was walking down the street.
What I notice is a lot of you guys will let the dog almost have the 3 feet or 4 feet of leash and will kind of walk like this and will tolerate that. At the beginning of class, we said kind of find what we allow the dogs to do. I think that's part of it. Sometimes with this one, maybe it's a little bit with Carter where we're giving them just a little bit too much, and then that a little bit of freedom turns into, well, now I have the right to explode. Whether it's I want to say hello or it's I want to jump after a car. So I think having that swing constantly lets the dog know, hey, I'm going to focus on you. How many times would you say you press the button on Carter?
Not very often. Just if I felt there was tension on the leash for too long, he hadn't come back, then I might press it just to get him back. But otherwise, he's
So I
easy.
think we're actually having a little breakthrough right now, because at the beginning of class you asked me, is there something I can tell you that's going to help you with Carter? And if you're only using the e-collar to correct the behavior, we've now added a prong collar to correct the behavior. You now have 2 tools that allow the dog to react, and then you get to punish him. And then come to group class and ask, how do we prevent the dog from doing everything? Use that e-collar to prevent the reaction. The same thing I told him, you have to press it when the dog's with you. Just like he might be tapping. For instance, when I had you guys walking and he was behind you because you were walking ahead, guess what he needed to use? The button. Tell you to slow up. Button, 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 wife. You're getting ahead. Hey, button, 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 slow up. I'm trying to keep, you two need to practice walking together.
I can't. He walks too slow. I can't.
I can't, he walks too
That's
slow.
impossible.
You guys have been married way too long.
Impossible.
I can't fix that one.
Impossible.
But in this situation,
Okay.
your dog's now the dog who likes to be like slow and lethargic. You want to speed walk through the neighborhood and you're going, how do I get my dog to walk with me? I only use the button when he freaks out. Use the button to go, come on, Dick, let's go, come on. And that's what this is. This is the, come on.
I'm taking the collar off him and putting it.
That's fine, I'll allow it. All right, so what I'd like to do is I'd like everyone to go line up over there now that we've got a little bit of shade. Put your dog in it down and get across the blacktop. You guys can be 5 to 10 feet away, it's totally fine, but go put your dog in it down and get across the moat. Oh my God, you little fat nugget.
Oh my God. How are you?
Okay, so where do you want us to go?
So what I'm going to have you guys do is come over here, and you're going to be on the other side of the grass, and I'm going to actually take your dog and use it as a
So
distraction.
just stand on the end.
Yeah, right over here.
Okay.
So hold on. I remember taking it blue. I believe already had that hot. Go down a little bit more. We can space this out. We have only a small amount of people here today, so it's all right if we space it out a little bit. No. Hey, pull your dog back. He might also need a back tie. Oh, don't be giving me those snorly grunts. Look at, I know. Look at you. You're a freaking nut. Goes, come on, listen.
No.
Can't we just do a group class on love and affection? Hey. She knocked on the door. Do you live in that complex? Very cool. Yeah, so you're going to walk over there and you're going to join the dogs. We're switching up the roles. Your dog already can care less. She's going, I'm just going to roll around. This is fun. Thanks for giving me the shade. So we'll do 2 tests. If you want to say hello to the cute puppy, you totally can. I'm just going to walk through. Let's see how jealous your dog gets. If your dog reacts, immediately tell your dog off and sit or down. Brooke. This is Brooke Shields. The cutest little, I don't know about little.
Hi. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. Nothing better than puppy kisses. Oh, you get no.
Little cute puppy. What's going to get Cinder, the people or the dog?
No, the dog. You paying attention to the dog.
Hi.
Definitely perked your ears up for a second.
Good job, Cinder.
Blue wants to say hello, I think. He's looking. No, that's blue behind you, but blue's been staring.
With the 12-week-old puppy next door said
Come here. I talk a lot about how your dog getting distracted is similar to a husband or wife that's looking at somebody when you're out in public. Well, guess what? This is the ultimate trust. That would be your wife or husband, and they're seeing you talk to another woman or man. And they have to be okay with it and trust you. And that's what this is. This is your dog seeing you flirt with somebody else and know, that's still my man. I don't care. He can talk all he wants. I'm still going home with him, right? And that's the same thing, is how much trust do you have with your dog? If they're so insecure, they come running over, no, my mom. That's Secret Service and that's insecurity, right? Maybe they're gonna get rid of me and take that thing because it's really cute and I'm not as cute. Are you over, everybody? Is that where you're at? See, he's gonna want to eat you. All right, so now let's walk past. Good. Come on. Off. Off. Cut it out. Go down. Just pull the leash a little bit so it feels the backward tension. Yeah, there.
Get down. Get down. Sit. Down. Down.
So what's the one element that you weren't using? You got that fancy wristband, so you have access to the e-collar.
He actually listens in the down, but the off he didn't, so I got to use it with the off.
Would you say that your dog did it perfectly and he listened the first time you said it, or do you think you had to say the command a few times, use a sit, a down, coda his name? You said a bunch. It was like a magic spell. If you would just go, sit, down, you'll have precision and the dog will have clarity versus all that protest, which is the dog literally gets to, you know what, I'm gonna do what I want, Dad. I'm gonna do what I want. I know you're telling me to sit. I know you're telling me down, but I don't care that you're grounding me. I'm going out tonight. You get rid of the dog talking back if you use that e-collar during those little moments where you know that the dog will still listen, but it's not listening perfectly. It's like telling your son to take the trash out. I need it taken out by Thursday morning. And he takes it out like the next morning and you gotta like yell at him. Like, the trash is coming, I told you to take it out. Oh, he's like, yeah, I was going to. It's like, no. When I said take it out, I meant like right now. That's what I meant. When I say off or down or sit, I mean do it the first time. I don't wanna have to say sit, coda, down. What about a down? What about a sit? Something, anything but what you're doing. Offer up a different beat. Now it's negotiations.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not negotiating. Take the trash out, get an A on your test, and I'm gonna pay for your college and you're gonna go to Harvard and we're gonna do some wonderful things because I'm proud of you because you do all these things that I expect, but you have to express the expectations. If you don't express them, it's like letting the child get away with whatever it wants and then you're like trying to be tough on them. They're like, Dad, come on, Dad, let me go. And that's what's happening. And your dog instinctually is gonna want to challenge you and play around and go, I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm gonna do whatever I want, Dad. So we have to like try to get him to be like at least a C student, you know? Because he's just got so much playful energy. And look at you, you've just been sitting here while I'm talking. I appreciate you. You're so sweet. Come on, let's go bother these dogs.
Hey, back here. Back. Come.
Down. doing? All right. Enjoying the shade? Hey, just lay down. Down. Lay down.
Down, Sadie. Down. Down. Good girl.
Off. Sit. Thank you. Sit. Sit. Thank you. Hey, sit. Is that how you feel? Sit. Try to say quiet and down.
Quiet. Down.
You're saying down because you know that quiet would have got her to come running to you. So it's almost, you can say it even quicker. Quiet, down. Or it's boom, boom. I just hit you with a left and a right. Hey.
Down.
Your dog just stares at you. It only wants to get aggressive and tough when it has the opportunity to like go say hello.
When the affection's taken away, actually, is most of the time that she gets reactive.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's when people go to walk away or pull their hand back is when she's like, ah.
Takes that minute to be tough. Hey, off. Let's see if they'll say hello. Cinder? I'm introducing the affection.
Down.
Off. Nice. Nice. Good. Prevention is everything. You can prevent me from ordering the cheesecake tonight, you're my hero.
I'll call you every 10 minutes.
Oh.
How's that?
Right? We're talking about cheesecake every 10 minutes. I'm gonna have a problem tonight. Oh, she's a high. Barely responds pretty much. I'd say like a 13 to a 15 is like where she was like really listening. But you just have to stop the motion. Just put her in a sit and she'll calm herself down. Coming to places like this using place is gonna be great. The same way he's sitting on that and he can observe group class. You guys, if you want, all can go sit over there and observe, you know, the rest. And that way it's like, so this is what happens. Gotcha, I understand, I have clarity. I'm not confused, certainly not anxious or scared about group class now because I have the clarity. So all these things go into play, but your dogs do great.